All right, so the next cube I want to cover here is Sacred Geometry. Rampant Grove says, I absolutely love watching Machine God you posted last weekend. I'm so glad people really liked it. That one got a lot more positive response than I thought. I really felt like I was just rambling, but this is the kind of stuff that I like to listen to. Like, I really like people's process and just kind of the messy, unstructured behind-the-scenes stuff. So, yeah. I agree on the wind. I think Tempest Technique is cool because you can use it in a couple different ways. I really love how good it is against just the basic removal in the cube, so... For sure. All right. Now we're talking Sacred Geometry. This is my newest cube. It is all about playing Magic's most elegant, beautiful cards that are sophisticated in their design and inspire beauty. I've actually been really working hard on this sort of description to try and make it better for Boston Cube Party in a couple weeks. And I think I've got these couple groups of cards that explain it well. Like, this cube does contain efficient and powerful icons. You got your Swords to Plowshares, your Counterspell, Demonic Tutor, Lightning Bolt, Birds of Paradise. But it also contains aspirational big threats like Archangel of Thune and Consecrated Sphinx and Twin Flame Tyrant. So that, I think, draws a nice contrast between this sort of very efficient power max stuff. Then you're playing kind of like a suite of weird Baneslayers. Then some like low power role playing cards. I was thinking yesterday that I really got to get a 7th edition foil Duress because I realized I have a weird 7th edition foil micro cycle going on in here, so I think I got to do that. And then some personal favorites. So there's a lot of pet cards in here too. But really, the cube needs to be focused on these like beautiful cards. So when I'm evaluating a card for this cube in this survey, I am just going to be looking directly at whether it sparks joy for me. If it doesn't spark joy, we ain't doing it. It's got to be clean, and it's got to like really speak to me. And like I did in the previous one, I do, as people can see, oftentimes rate cards very lowly, even if I don't actually plan on testing them, which maybe is not the spirit of the survey, but I invented the survey, so I can, change my mind about that. Here, Anafenza, Unyielding Lineage. This one I would be interested in, except there's not a printing with reminder text for flash. Well, I don't think it's actually a problem. Endures 2. I'm sorry. The Spirit is a 2/2. I thought it was a 1/1, and it's 2/2 that doesn't fly. No shot. That's definitely not happening. Ugin Storm's definitely not making it in Sacred Geometry. Clarion Conqueror might. This is a very clean little hate bear. The one thing that I don't love about this here is that I don't have any Planeswalkers. And actually, I'm kind of light on artifacts. This really just would hate on the artifact deck. It would stop Arcbound Ravager, Monoskelion, Steel Overseer, Bottle Gnomes, Razormane Master. No, it's not activated abilities. They're all triggered. Triskelion, Icy Manipulator, Prophetic Prism, Mind Stone, Collector's Vault. I'm going to rate it pretty lowly, but it's an option. Which of these elf are speaking to me and sparking joy? I'm going to avoid anything with the named mechanic Mobilize and the named mechanic Endure. Wait, hold on a sec. Put 2 ++1 counters. Oh, the number of Endure is the power of the token it makes. It doesn't make that many tokens. I totally misunderstood that mechanic when I first read it. I thought it would make 2 1/1s. That's why I was so confused as to why it makes a 2/2 spirit. It makes a spirit of that size, or it puts counters. Okay, interesting. Either way, I'm avoiding all those cards for this, so that's easy. Let's see here. Loxodon on Battle Priest is clean enough, but I don't think it's going to see play realistically as a 5-mana card. Compare that to like Archangel of Thune. It's just not doing enough. Let's see. Rebellious Strike. I'm thinking more about combat tricks for this cube, but okay, Sage of Disguise is a card that I almost really like. It's not for Sacred Geometry for sure because of the sort of token copy of itself. But the fact that it's a card that makes a copy of itself if you cast another spell is very cool. I just don't like that it's a 2/3 lifelinker. I think 2/3 lifelink is a miserable stat line to play against in a lot of contexts. Like, make this a 3/1 flying first strike, right? Then at least you can get lava darted and be done, or you can be much more aggressive with it. I think it's cool. Yeah, any other keyword. Give me any other keyword on this thing. I am not on Giant Growth. That would definitely be the first combat trick I would add to Sacred Geometry, no question. No question. And honestly, to be frank, we might not find a lot here for Sacred Geometry because the bar is so high. It's got to be like a perfect card, And so far, none of these are looking very perfect to me. If this didn't have the mobilize text and like made a token that I'm already using, then 3/2 lifelink, shut up, Trainmaster GT. I mean, actually, that is less offensive to me, but it's still offensive. So, bleh. I do also have a cool foil giant growth from my old battle box that I could use in the Sacred Geometry Cube if I wanted to. Focus the Mind is an example of the kind of card that I would consider for this cube. 01 lifelink double strike. Now that's much cooler. I'm into that for sure. I still think that Psychic Frog should have been an 01. Would have been cool. Very cool. This is the kind of card I would consider here. There are so many good instant speed card draw spells that are just much cleaner. I'll actually say that the bell. I was reading High Spire Bell Ringer while I was trying to say the bar for blue card draw spells is impossibly high because we've gotten so many great ones over the years that are very elegant and clean and bring joy to my heart and soul. So these ain't gonna do it. Yeah. Let's see here. On to black. Desperate Measures is the kind of card I would consider. It's pretty clean. Pretty clean. Harmonize is definitely also out. Yeah, I'm not going to do Harmonize. Too similar to Flashback and also just complicated. A lot going on. Dragons. So honestly, this is where I could consider the Dragons Matter cards. I do have a fair few dragons. Like you could cast Caustic Exhale and reveal Scourge of Neltoth to get a really good disfigure. But that's the kind of thing. It's just like that kind of cute interaction is just not. It's not what this cube is about. This cube is about playing disfigure alongside Scourge of Neltoth and just making it work. You know. Let's see. Do really like this Curse Rock Shasta card. We're going to get to the Bun Magic Cube if we have time tonight, and that is going to be on my short list over there, but definitely too complicated and funky for this one. This one's really funky, but I do have 2/2 zombie tokens in this cube, and I am pretty strict on the number of tokens, number of unique tokens I can make, so that did jump out at me a little bit. Oh, sorry, it's a zombie druid. Why is it a zombie druid? Ugh! Not even an option anymore. Not even an option. Really rough. Unburied Earth Carver. I was also actually just talking yesterday about wanting to find a Hell's Caretaker style card that fit in this cube, and Sidisi kind of fits that bill, but I would just play Whisper Blood Liturgist first, to be honest. So for those that don't know, this is, I think, almost a perfect classic clean card, except it says activate only during your upkeep. And of course it has to, because otherwise this is a like totally messed up thing to be able to hold up all the time. It's going to be like a nightmare to play against. But that does make this much less clean, because you have to remember this specific stupid timing thing, and it really makes me mad. But if not for that, I'd be playing that card, which is why I'm considering Whisper Blood Liturgist, which trades the upkeep condition for having to sacrifice 2 creatures to return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, which I actually think is totally fair. No, Apprentice Necromancer and also Doom Necromancer are 2 other ones I've been thinking about. I'm looking for more sort of one-shot sacrifice things to work in the sacrifice deck, to still proc your sacrifice stuff, but to not be ongoing constantly. Hell's Caretaker is undeniably way cooler than Whisper, though. Sorry, Whisper. You're just not as cool as Hell's Caretaker. Hell's Caretaker, much cooler. I do kind of like Worthy Cost here, but it's not as good as Bone Shards, and I'm on Bone Shards currently, and it's too similar to be clean next to it. New fire, whatchamacallit? I can't remember the name of the one with Flashback. New one of those. Yeah, I agree on the win. I think Whisper is the clean one. It's not the cool one. It's the clean one. And being able to sacrifice itself is very relevant, and I think adds to the cleanliness. You don't have to remember that it can't sacrifice itself. Let's see here. What else is looking interesting? I am interested in more dragons. I did look at every single dragon in Magic's history recently. I'm going to read all these dragons here too. Destroy target non-basic land and opponent controls. I have stopped reading that dragon. I began, and then I stopped. Yeah, Sarkhan's got a lot going on. I don't think it's going to work for me. Another dragon to read. This one's got Storm. Not for this cube. But it's cool that a dragon has Storm. I like that. I'm not mad about that. Let's see here. All the warrior stuff doesn't work because I'm making zombie tokens. Trainmaster GT, don't you dare tell me what that dragon I stopped reading does. I stopped reading it for a reason. You're not allowed to tell me that. That's a... You're violating my boundary of not reading the rest of that dragon. Mill 3 cards, put a land card from among them into your hand if you don't put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Kind of interesting. Stun counter on your land. See, this is why I didn't read the rest of the card, Trainmaster GT. I'm so mad. Dragon Sniper is kind of sick. Which one is that? Which one is that? Oh, it's right down the page. It's right here. I don't know. Vigilance Reach Death Touch is not cool. Are you being serious? You gotta know me enough to know that I don't like Vigilance Reach Death Touch. Ugh. I have not talked about my feelings on the mechanics, and to be honest, the Omen mechanic is not going to touch these cubes we're talking about today, so I probably won't spend time talking about it. So, yeah. Do you actually like it? I mean, here's the thing. Dragon Sniper is cool in the sense that it is combining basic evergreen keyword abilities to create a complete package that is totally different. You know, the fact that this is basically just going to ping your opponent for 1 every turn, right? Unless they have some token or something they're willing to sacrifice to it, because you're not going to want to trade a card for this thing for the most part. Maybe I'm overstating that. I guess if you have some dinky crap, you'll probably trade it. But the Reach and Death Touch specifically is just, I don't know. It's like, I really have loved playing with the seals in 100 Ornithopters because it presents this onboard problem for you to solve that you have to get around. But the reward for getting around it often there is you win the game. You get rid of that, you get them to pop that seal on the wrong thing and you combo off and it feels great. This just says you're going to throw some creature in front of this. There are so many things I love about Baleful Strix that I get over the fact that it's a flying Death Touch creature, but I really don't love it. Moving on. All right, here's a card I'm interested in. Surak, Elusive Hunter. I love this. If thinking becomes a target of ability, draw a card, a thing. It's on that Rhino. What's that Rhino called? How many Rhinos could there possibly be? Gnarlback Rhino. So I wish this, whenever you cast a spell that targets this creature, was any player cast a spell that targets this creature. How sick would this be? It'd be much more powerful. Let's accept that. It's not the same card in terms of power level balancing, but just a 4-mana 4/4 that draws you a card if your opponent kills it with the Doomblade. Sick. So good. That's all I want for my green threats in so many environments. As it is, it's just, a payoff for various combat tricks or whatever, which is a totally different card. But Surak is pretty close to that, right? Whenever a creature you control or a creature spell you control becomes target of a spell or ability opponent controls, you draw a card. What I don't like about it is this spell can't be countered. If it didn't say this spell can't be countered, I would be much more interested in it. I'm still going to throw it on my list. I just don't think it needs that. It's very kind of on the nose. It's not elegant because it's bashing you over the face with, I am good against control. I am good against control, which is going a little too hard, I think. Shocking Sharpshooter doesn't shock. Shocking Sharpshooter. I don't even see where that is. We'll get there maybe in a second. Is Traveling Botanist too much text? I think Trainmaster GT asked me about Traveling Botanist. Becomes tapped, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card reveal, put it into your hand. If you don't, put it... So it just spells out Explore? No, because you don't get a +1/+1 counter. It's not Explore. Here's the problem with it. It's too close to Explore that players will think maybe it's Explore, but it's not. I don't hate it. 2-mana 2/3 is a cool stat line, to be honest. All right, not much yet, but I don't expect to get a lot for this cube out of any set, to be perfectly honest. Gold cards are going to have to do quite a bit to appeal to me here. Auroral Procession is actually maybe doing it. We were spending a lot of time in the previous stream looking for more blue-green cards for this list, and Instant Speed Regrowth, that could totally get there. I could see that. We are not playing any Sagas, and we are not going to do any of the Sieges, so we can skip all of those. Baitor, Kin to All. All right, I'm going to begin reading this dragon. 5 mana, 5/7 flying. At the beginning of your end step, if creatures you control have a total toughness 10 or greater, draw a card. Then if creatures... No, that's just commander bait. Bone, Cairn, Butcher. Mobilize 2. Nope. Call of Spirit Dragons. No. No. Defibrillating Current. No. This is actually a very cool card. I like that it's like a little board wipe and then starts making dragons. It's pretty sick. Yeah, Mystic Snake, I think it's going to be in for Boston Cube Party, and we'll see if people are really excited about it. It doesn't spark joy in me, I'll be honest. I'll be totally honest. It just doesn't do it for me. Hybrid mana, not clean, sorry. This creature earns 2++ if it has 2 more spells this turn. Honestly, kind of cool, but not what I want blue-red to be doing in this cube. And blue-red is a color pair just stacked with cards I love, so a lot to compete with there. Fangkeeper's Familiar, Mystic Snake at home, or is Mystic Snake Fangkeeper's Familiar at home? Felithar, Dawn of the Abzan. Not a lot of text so far. 3/3 trample. May sacrifice not apparently do +++. Okay, Felithar. All right. I don't know. That's something. It's not going to rank very highly, but I do have this little... Here's what I would like. I would like to turn what are currently these 3 legendary 3-color cards. I don't want full 10. I think that's crazy. I think it was Ryan Overturf recently was posting on Blue Sky about how supporting all 10 shards or wedges in a cube is just not really possible, and I totally agree. But if this could be 5, that could be kind of cool. Feel like a little bit of a cycle, maybe. So that's the only reason I'm thinking about this a little bit, because there's kind of a precedent in this cube for specifically gold legends that are hopefully worth building around. Flamehold Grappler. When this creature enters, copy the next spell you cast this turn if you cast it, or when you cast it. Why does it have to say when you cast it? Why can't it just say copy the next spell you cast this turn? You may choose some targets for the copy. We're already on double vision. That's fine. Frontline Rush is very cool. I'm unfortunately just very, very happy. Not unfortunately. I love my Boros section of this cube. I can't really imagine changing this up anytime soon. They're like they all kind of work with each other, but they're also not the same thing. Like they're doing slightly different things, which is very cool. I don't know. I just think it's kind of perfect. So I don't really have room for Frontline Rush, but it's a very cool card. I don't know. I'm going to put it on here. I really like it. It's very cool. On the Wind says, you can replace heroic reinforcements when you get sick of red-white winning all the time. Tell that to Alex, who thinks that red-white aggro is completely non-viable in this environment. I truly have no idea if it's viable, and he could be right. I don't know. It's possible. I like Sky Knight Vanguard a lot, Oikinator. It's just a card I have a lot of fondness for. It's also like, to get back to that elegance, like it's just so much cleaner to me. I like this card a lot, but the menu of like choose 2 things, not my favorite. Glacial Dragon Hunt. Harmonize is out. Hybrid Mana is out. Hardened Tactician is a clean card. I think I saw someone mention this earlier. This is definitely clean. I don't know that I like it, but it's clean. This is a card I was really excited about for this cube, just like literally last week, and my goals have changed just in the week in between. I'm probably still gonna put it in my list, but I think I was really falling a little bit too much for synergy and not individual card elegance. What I really wanted for this cube for a while was I really wanted a Rayhan, Last of the Abzan. I wanted this to not say partner on it. Just the 3-mana 3/3 that gives everything you control when it dies, and also take off this or is put into the command zone. Take that off. If this was just like the non-commander version of this card, I think it would be pretty darn cool. And this is almost that. I mean, really, it kind of is that, but it feels so much less elegant to me. I don't know why. The fact that it's not a 0/0, I don't know. Sharpie cards cannot be clean, Tim. Cannot be clean. Someone pointed out that Bones pointed out that Hardened Tactician gives you a discount on activating your clues. Very true. Too true, bestie. Inevitable Defeat. Jeskai Brushmaster. Double Strike Prowess. I mean, that's clean, but not worth a Jeskai slot. That creates monk tokens. All right, dragons. Jeskai, Shrine Keeper, Flying Haste, combination player, game of life, draw a card. Is it fun? Is it worth? Does it have enough swagger to be a 5-mana dragon in this? I don't know. Karakik Guardian, Flying Vigilance, Trample, Hexproof as long as it hasn't dealt damage yet. Tracking that across turns, not clean. Hybrid Mana, not clean. Kishla Skimmer, Flying. Whenever a card leaves your graveyard during your turn, draw a card. His ability triggers once each turn. That's cool. That's cool. I don't support this right now in blue-green. I mean, there's like filter, flashback. So Snapcaster Mage, Think Twice, Deep Analysis, Call of the Herd would be the ways to do that in blue-green specifically. I don't think there's going to be any other cards here that are going to exile cards from graveyards in blue-green. Scavenging Ooze, I lied. Duh. Scavenging Ooze. Pretty easy. Anything else? Does it say removed or exiled from? Just leaves your graveyard. So you could also reanimate something. Regrowth does it. Okay. It's a cool card. I like the art a lot. Cottis the Fangkeeper. Indestructible. No, thank you. Lion Wait. Card's power to target creature. No, I'm already on Muldrotha and Sultai. Mammoth Below. Nope, new token. Mardu Siegebreaker. Death Touch Haste. Nah, too much. Marshal the Lost. That's kind of interesting. Put it on the list. Monastery Messenger. Cool art. Narset Jeskai. I mean, that's clean. I'm going to put Narset on this list for the same reason I put whatchamacallit, Fellothar on this list. Neriv, Heart of the Storm. Neriv. That's a very cool card. And here's the thing, like we keep asking for cards with like that don't do everything. Here's a great example. They do still print these cards. This doesn't trigger itself at all. So you have to compare this with haste or with like an Impact Tremor style ability. Though, is it the enchantment or the creature dealing damage in those cases? I think it probably depends on the card. Very cool card though. And it's a cool dragon. Put it on the list. Fine. You all win. I don't think you actually like it, but I'm talking myself into it a little bit. These are all going to be rated quite low, I should say. None of these cards are really speaking to me in a big way. If this didn't have Hexproof for indestructible counters, could be kind of cool. +1/+1 counter target, and more. Hybrid Mana. Skirmish Rhino is clean. I know Trainmaster GT is in the chat popping off. It's very clean. Lion Weight is fire. It really is. It's a very cool card. I could see Muldrotha being too good here or too swingy and going to a card like Lion Weight. I really like that kind of 2-for-1. Synergistic 2-for-1. Very cool. Shiko, Paragon of the Way. Flying Vigilance. Exile non-commander. So this is just a... This is the kind of card I could also maybe talk myself into getting. I feel like because I'm doing it in front of you all, in front of you people in chat, I'm being more generous than I would be otherwise. For better or worse. Skirmish Rhino, I'm not going to play. Sorry, Trainmaster. It's a 3/4 for 3 mana with Trample. No, thank you. This is such a funny... This is like exactly the same kind of thing. Another black-green and counters payoff. One of our counters, if it's the first time, there's a hardened scales effect, basically. Sonic Shrieker. This is a very cool design too, to be honest. I hate this art, but it's a cool design. Flying lifelink spells you control have Delve. Ugh, that's crazy. Whenever you cast spell, okay, so that's actually kind of balanced then. That makes sense. Areni, the Storm Unending. That has got protection from colors and costs 8 mana. More Sieges. Yathen Roadwatcher. Yeah, see, this is the kind of card, like, this is fine. It works here, but this doesn't have the cool swagger. You know, at least the legends have some swagger to them. Jumping through these artifacts real quick. Yeah, they're not going to do it. These lands are kind of interesting. Honestly, I'm not going to, like, completely rule them out. These are just other cards that we already passed by, right? Yeah, these are just fancy printings of other cards. Okay. This is way more cards that I'm actually... it's not going to happen here. The one I'm most excited about, it's either going to be Serac, Frontline Rush, or Auroral Procession. But I'm not very excited about any of them. This guy cannot be countered. That is a huge hit to his cleanliness. Auroral Procession, the biggest hit is that it's so similar to Regrowth, to be honest. So that's the thing. Frontline Rush, actually, maybe the card I'm most excited about. It's a really cool way to get a combat trick into a cube, but the art is very sick. All right, well, I'm going to talk myself into it. This actually does not do it for me either. Desperate Measures. Dies under your control of his turn. Draw 2 cards. Gonna get some low ratings here, folks. Felithar, 1. Kishwa Skimmer, we'll come back to that. 1, 1, 1. I know it's Skullclamp 1 time. You think I don't know that? Marshal the Lost, Death Touch. She has Death Touch. Ooh. All right, safe to say, this is the one I'm going to rate this a little higher because I'm unsure about it. It's the kind of like emergent synergy that I'm interested, but not sure what to make of it. Thank you. Tips. Got another question about Shocking Sharpshooter. Let's check it out. Can't type. Okay. I mean, it's clean, that's for sure. I like it more than a lot of these other cards we talked about. I give it a 2.5. Sure. Anyway, Kishwa Skimmer is a card I just don't know what to make of it. I truly don't. I'm going to bump up Frontline Rush a little bit because I'm more excited about that than Kishwa Skimmer, but I could see Kishwa Skimmer. This is the kind of emergent synergy I'm kind of into. Like, I actually don't want to think too hard about whether or not this is viable. I kind of want to make people work it out for themselves. And it's a 2-mana 2/2 flyer, which here I think is actually a fine base rate. Regrowth, Call of the Herd, Seasons Past. Raminap Excavator, Eternal Witness, Scavenging Ooze, Kishwa Skimmer, too good? Shaper's Sanctuary, since you don't like the text on Serac. Is this the one that's just an enchantment that gives all your creatures that? You know what? You know what, Kingsgrave? I think I'm kind of interested. What the Shapers is? Oh, I hate when they do that. I think I'm kind of interested in this. This is definitely clean. And I think I would very often say that... Not thinking about it too hard, but I think you're making fun of me, Keldon. Normally I would say this card is just not good, right? Like, let's just putting my power level hat on, putting my Jesse Bear hat on. Whenever a creature you control becomes target of a spell or rebellion, put on control, draw a card. So this has to draw 2 cards before you're remotely happy with it, right? 1 mana to draw a card is not good at all. So you would need to draw 2 cards off of this, which means you have to play it early enough in the game that your opponent is going to spend 2 removal spells on it later on, or on creatures you control later on. Then you have to also have creatures in play to do things with it. It just doesn't affect the board. It doesn't inherently replace itself. But this is the kind of cube where I actually don't mind at all. Sorry, I'm just reading chat for the future. People are on to Foul Renewal. Which one was Foul Renewal again? Fiek. Why? Okay, gotta get my... Put your hand in the right spot on the keyboard, Zandy. I don't have... Wait, what's that similar to? I don't get it, what that's similar to. Very similar to the Sultai card. I understand. I'm actually reading your full comment word for word now, Donald K. Magic, and I get it. It is similar. You're right. I think it lacks the swagger of Lion Weight, to be honest. Anyway, what I was saying is that this is the kind of cube where I'm okay playing cards that are just kind of bad sometimes and make people figure it out. And I think over the next couple months, as I continue to work on this cube, I am most likely going to just make it worse. I'm going to be cutting good cards for worse cards that have the kind of internal elegance that I'm seeking. And Shaper's Sanctuary could count among them. Anyway, this is my final ruling for Sacred Geometry for this cube. Frontline Rush, it is very cool. I will probably actually just try it for a while over the flying guy, whose name I can't remember, over Sky Knight Vanguard. But at the end of the day, I'm not sure which one I end up sticking with. Kishwa Skimmer, potentially very cool. I like it, maybe. We'll see. The rest of these, not really going to make it. Boom. Is there going to be anything on the commander set that I would even remotely consider for this cube? Let's check it. Let's check it out. I'm not hopeful because the commander sets tend to be complicated. Is this survey broken? Website broken? Live on air? I know it saves things in a cookie, so I can refresh and resubmit if I need to. No. I'm not testing. I am testing that. Look at that. It still saves my previous rating. We're so good at making websites. Maybe there's a little downtime for Google Sheets right now. In the background, we're just using Google Sheets to manage these submissions instead of paying for some service. So you get what you pay for, it turns out. Let's just go over and start filling out the other one. Tarkir Dragonstorm Commander. Submit for another cube. Sacred Geometry. Now look, there's already one that I had in my maybe board. Caldera Pyramaw. This card is actually very cool. I like it a lot. I think there's actually going to be a couple cards here probably for me. These cards. Ugh. Yeah, I can't do any of these face commander cards. Enoch Strike Leader. It does make goblins. Whenever you attack with this creature and/or your commander. And we're done. Aligned Heart. I actually really like that card, but not for this cube because of the unique tokens. Lieutenant, no good. When this creature enters, it becomes monstrous. Monstrosity I'm not going to do, but otherwise, a very cool card. Reunion of the House. Any number of target creatures? Yeah, no, we talked about one for that one. Tempest Technique, no. No. Deceptive Frostkite is a 2-mana 1/1 dragon. Enters a copy of a creature you control with power 4 or greater. So it has to copy a big thing. Very interesting. Very interesting. How's this going over here? Okay, it did eventually upload. Diviner of Mist. No, a little too much going on there. Hammerhead Tyrant. This one, actually, I remember seeing this when I was looking for cool cards for this cube, and I actually think it's great. We were looking at... Wow, it's... On the spot, all of a sudden, it's like impossible to remember cards. Hullbreaker Horror. We're looking at this, and honestly, if it weren't for Can't Be Countered, I think this is kind of a cool and clean win condition for control decks. I'll say it. I do. I think it is. And then someone brought up, bless me, that this is a kind of a callback to the What's the big watery guy? Tidespout Tyrant. Thank you. This guy. See, sometimes Scryfall is slow to load too, everybody. It's not just your favorite website. This guy is so clean, but it's also 8 mana. But this is the exact amount of cleanliness I want on a card in this cube. You know? Flying, cast a spell, return target permanent to its owner's hand. Great. Wow. I'm actually just going to go ahead and throw Tidespout Tyrant in the maybe word here so I don't forget about it again, because I'm likely to do that. Yeah. Boop. Anyway, Hammerhead Dragon is kind of similar. The fact that it says up to 1, and it's a non-land permanent, and its opponent controls with mana value less than or equal to the spell's mana value, it's just like, it's a lot stacking up, but it's cool, and I like dragons, so I could potentially see making that work. Transcendent Dragon. 6 mana, flash, flying. If you cast a counter target spell, spells counter sway excess to opponent's own graveyard, you could just cast it yourself. Yeah, maybe. Also, Voracious Bibliophile. Yeah, maybe. Cast spell for more targets, draw the many cards. I mean, we're putting some cool stuff in commander sets these days. We got to be honest with ourselves when they do it. It can be cool. Bone Devourer, 1 too many lines of text. It's honestly kind of close. 1 too many lines of text. Taval's Judgment is also kind of interesting. Mush says Bibliophile is cool. I agree. Bone says Bibliophile is dummy strong. I also agree. And I think it is dummy strong and cool. Oh, Zombie Druid token. Thank you, Heavenly Evan. That is not Zombie tokens. It is Zombie Druids. It is right out. If I wanted to explore 3 mana rafts in this cube, I could see Tip the Scales. But honestly, Toxic Deluge is just much cleaner. Too good. Much cleaner. Gold to Dust Triad. Myriad. No. Parapet Thrasher. Too many options. No. Redoubled Storm Singer. First Strike. No. Thundermane Giant. Nope. That's not going to happen well enough. Will of the Jeskai. Zenith Festival. Arbor Adherent. Greatest toughness among other creatures you control. 4 mana, 2/4. Not ramping at 4 mana anymore, I don't think. Broodcaller Scourge. I'm kind of these big green dragons are kind of interesting. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, you know, more cards than I expected here. Yeah, we're all mad about Zombie Druid tokens. We're all mad about it. I'm not actually probably very likely to do the Hammerhead Tyrant thing, because I would honestly just play Tidespout Tyrant, I think, in this cube. Transcendent Dragon, similarly, probably even less likely, let's be honest. Voracious Bibliophile, much more likely. It's much cleaner. It's much cleaner. It's a very cool... I'm kind of into it. Caldera Pyremaw, 5 mana, instant sorcery spell, +++ counter this creature. Creature's name to target opponent. Yeah, I don't know. I think that one's kind of cool too. I'm actually going to give both of these a little higher. Throw some 7s up here. We love dragons. Bibliophile is cracked, is what I'm hearing from Donald K. Magic. I played Demonic Tutor in this cube. It's fine. Canopy Gargantuan, 7 mana, flying ward 2, beginning of your upkeep, put a number of +++ counters on each other creature you control equal to that creature's toughness. So just buffs your whole team every turn. I do have +++ counters in this cube. The question is, do I like that more than the sort of top end I'm already playing, which consists of Thorn Mammoth, Earthshaker Giant, Verdurous Gearhulk. I don't think it's as clean as Verdurous Gearhulk. This one's probably going to be a bit lower, but I think it's higher than... I want this to be a 3. Make it a 3. It's probably a little higher than that. 3.7. Great. Honestly, some pretty good cards from the commander set for those cubes. All right, this is a short little stream. That is all the time I have tonight. So I went through Hunter Ornithopters and Sacred Geometry. I have not gone through Bun Magic yet. That'll be the last one I'll do. Sacred Geometry only has one word card so far. That's true, but I maybe wanted to have more because I think word is cool. So maybe I'll come back and find some time to stream me doing the same thing for the Bun Magic cube. But yeah, those are my first impressions for these two cubes at least. I am more excited for sure about the kind of cards that Hunter Ornithopters is getting, and less interested in cards for Sacred Geometry, but that one does have kind of a high bar. So yeah.